Hi everyone, welcome to my video, and today I'm going to do a makeup tutorial inspired by Taylor Swift's look in the new music video that she has out at the moment for Out of the Woods. So I'm going to start off with the Rimmel Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue foundation. I just like this one because of its nice natural coverage, but it still has coverage, which I need. So I'm just going to take a couple of pumps of that and work it on with my Real Techniques buffing brush, just because it gives a really nice natural finish. So because this is such a light look, we're going to leave it there with coverage and then come back and do some sort of spot concealing after we've done the eyes, so it's really natural. So next up, I'm going to do the brows. I'm just going to take, this is the Sleek or Natural palette in 601, and it's a Real Techniques eyebrow brush. I'm literally just going to take some of this shade for me, this sort of light ashy blonde shade, just so it's nothing too heavy. Tap a bit on the brush. I always just I end up with all sorts on the back of my hand. I feel like it's the best palette. It kind of warms everything up and is good for just blotting everything off. Obviously clean hands is what you want. So take a bit of that and then just really gently work that in through the brows, just to really fill in any gaps that you've got, so they look groomed, I guess you want, but not clearly made up. So just work that through, just really gentle, and just use little gentle upwards strokes and upwards and backwards, nothing too heavy. Just gently, ever so gently filling them in. So for me, this look is really all about the eyes, and that's what we're going to move on to now. But as the main base, and I love this one anyway because I think it is, on clients I find it's flattering on everybody, and it's the Max Factor Masterpiece, and this is in Coffee number 3, and it's like a cream to powder kind of formula with a little blender on the bottom. And these are great anyway, just as an everyday product. If you're just trying to do a really quick makeup, you can just sort of wash it on really quick, and it lasts really well, doesn't crease. So I love these anyway. But this colour particularly, I thought is that kind of bronzy browny colour I was looking for. So let's get started. So we're just going to take this on the eyelid. Now I hope you noticed I used my foundation just as a base, and that will help grab the product. So I just use my buffing brush just to get a little bit on the eye, which gives us that little bit of base. So just taking this, you want it sort of right into the corner because it really was across the whole lid. And you don't have to be too fussy at this stage, just really kind of work the colour on and take it across the eye. And a little bit, just sort of take it up into that crease that you have, and then sort of looking up, take it underneath the eye and a little bit out. We will sort of blend and work this out, but it helps just to follow the under eye line here and then take it just sort of a little bit up here. And as I say, don't worry about being messy, because that's why I always think it's best just to leave your concealer until afterwards, and then we can blend everything out as we need to. So take a bit more on the other eye. Now, to kind of give that a little bit more depth, I'm going to go back actually to that same Sleek palette, the Naturel palette, and there's a colour on there. It's this one right here. If you guys can see that. again has that similar tone. So we're just going to take, which one is this I'm using here? It's the Real Techniques Space Shadow brush. Take a bit of the product on the brush, again back of the hand, just to take off any excess. And then I just want to, staying mainly close to the lids, just wash that over, just to kind of deepen that colour, and it's kind of adds a sort of another dimension. And then I think this is a really nice way of just blending up into the crease and into the corner. And you can see already it's just given that extra kind of pop on the eye to the initial sort of colour, the base that we put down. And I always find layering this way really helps your makeup to last. And then for the under eye, take a sort of smaller brush and repeat. This is the Real Techniques shading brush. So again, take a little bit of that same colour, X this off on the back of your hand, and just sort of look up and gently blend. Get it right into that corner. And it was quite a sort of thick wash under the eye, so don't worry too much at this stage about being neat. Just kind of get that right in at the roots and a little bit underneath. And then just to give a little bit more depth right at the lash line, I'm going to take the colour just to the right of that one, which is this sort of slightly chocolatey brown shade, and take that same shading brush. I'm not about using hundreds of brushes, nobody has time for that. So just taking a little bit there and just gently taking that right into the lash line here, just to give that little bit more depth, and we will blend in a minute. And then using the smaller brush as well, kind of follow that line out, just to work that little corner area there, because I noticed in a different angle on the video she sort of looks down and you can see it is really kind of taken up. She doesn't end it at the socket, so just use that natural line and follow into sort of like an outward triangle, I guess you would say, and then work that back, blending it there. And then repeat. So another little bit of chocolate brown. Work that in. And like I say, it's what I love about this is that it is just a real smudgy look. You know, we don't have to really panic about eyeliners and everything being precise, which I think, you know, I love doing a nice winged look, but I feel there's been so much of it these days that to me this was just really refreshing to kind of see something different, I guess. You know, it's all probably what we've done before, but as with everything like fashion, it just kind of goes in a circle, and this was nice, I think, to just something that you could probably do quite quick and easy, and you're not getting yourself all in work up about, you know, one wing looks better than the other and all that kind of thing. So that's the darker colour added. We're just now going to take the base shadow brush that we had originally and just really gently, nothing too heavy because we don't want to take the colour off, but just gently blend that in, just so it's all soft, no harsh edges. So for mascara, I'm actually taking the Soap & Glory Thick and Fast High Definition Collagen Coat Mascara. I normally am really addicted to the Max Factor False Lash Effect one, but I got this recently and I must admit I'm really liking it. I tend to wear waterproof mascaras just because my eyes water a lot. And on clients and things, waterproof obviously lasts really well, but I'm really liking this one. So let me know what you guys think, if you've tried this one and what your thoughts are. So just taking that and really working it into the roots, and you'll notice I kind of do it without realizing, but I really kind of wiggle into the roots, and then I twizzle the brush as I'm doing it, as I find that just helps coat my lashes really well. And then I tend to use the end, the sort of point of the brush, to sort of work from the roots down to the tips to really coat each lash. Okay, so that's mascara on, and then what I like to do is take a Lash brow groomer. Sorry, my mind went absolutely blank then. And I tend to use these sort of metal ones, so do be careful if you're using one. I've poked myself in the eye with these so many times and it really hurts, and your eyes just stream for about half an hour afterwards. But I do find the metal ones are the best for really separating your lashes. So just ever so carefully run those through, and you can sort of lift your lashes at the same time, just to separate and take out any clumps that you might have there. And then what I like to do is just kind of let those dry before I go through and do any touch up. I think that helps, again, to keep the curl and keep the lashes looking how we want them. So my next stage would be the kind of highlighting and cheeks and glow that she has, because she does have a real glow about her skin. So we're going to try and cheat that. Well, I am a little bit. You guys might have lovely skin and might not need to do quite so much work to get that glow. But I'm going to start with a nice sort of product here that really works and looks natural on the skin, which is Benefit Moonbeam. This is kind of an old product really, in the sense it's been out a long time, but it's really one of my favourites for adding a real natural glow. I like powders as well, and I will use powder as well, but I'm just going to work some of this on the skin just to create that real natural, gorgeous sort of sheen that she has. So just take the brush, and she has some in quite set places, so sort of on the cheekbone, so just kind of paint it on the cheekbone. She has a real glow down her nose actually, so we want a glow, not a shine. And she had some here on the Cupid's bow, so blob a bit on there as well. And for the brow bone, I'm going to use some powder, but just a little bit on there, and we can pat that in. And then just taking your ring finger, just ever so gently pat the product and kind of work it into the skin, and you'll probably see already it catches in the light. It's a really gorgeous, pearly but not shiny sort of glow finish to the skin. Okay, so now we've got the base of our glow. The next stage on the cheeks, she had a real sort of bronzy cheek. So to start that off, I'm going to take the Sleek Face Form Contouring and Blush Palette, and that's in Fair 372, looks like this. And taking a blush brush, this one's, I think it's a Sleek face brush, and just taking the blush shade on that, just ever so gently, just really lightly, kind of do your smiley face, and just very gently on the apples. Nothing at all too heavy. Just work that. And then for a second colour, and this might sound odd, but I'm taking the Rimmel Lasting Finish Soft Colour Pink blush, and that's in Live Pink. And again, just a very gentle, just to give it slightly more of a rosy tone. And nothing too crazy. There. And then we're going to bronze up a little bit because she was quite bronzy. So going back to my Sleek palette, I'm going to take the bronzer, and using that same brush, just kind of tap a bit on your brush, use the back of your hand. And she had some sort of across the temples, so just take it across the temples, down underneath the chin. And rather than contouring, it was more on the actual cheeks, as if, you know, where you would sort of naturally tan. So take it round the temple and then across here, just to create that glow, and then sort of down underneath the chin here. So again, across the temple, and then down the neck, just to make sure we're all blended and there's no difference in colour. There. Okay, so that's our bronzing mainly done. And then what I want to do is just put a little bit of highlighter. I noticed she had some highlighter in the corner of her eyes. So I'm going to take that small brush and use actually the highlighter that's in this Face Form palette, which is a really pretty colour. And just take this on a small brush and just dab it just in the little tear duct area, just to create a really nice glow just in that corner and brighten everything. And then for the brow bone, we want to go back in and just add a little bit of highlight. So taking that same highlighter from the Face Form palette and just wash it gently with, I'm using a base shadow brush, but any kind of medium sized brush, I guess, just to kind of keep the accuracy and just help blend all that in, so it's a really soft, gentle finish. So there we have it, that's the eyes sorted and done. Right, next on I'm going to do the concealing and the under eye work, and just to kind of brighten everything up. As you can probably clearly see by now, I've got a lovely blemish here which needs a bit of work because her skin looked flawless in the video, which mine isn't. So really we're going to work on any blemishes that you have and then sorting out any darkness under the eyes. So for darkness under the eyes, I'm actually going to take my Bobbi Brown, this is the BBU palette. Most of you may not have this, it really depends. This is something I use on clients and it's just got a great range of colours and correctors in. But a good alternative, and one that I presume more for everyday use, would be something like the Rimmel Match Perfection concealer, or really kind of any highlighting concealer pen, anything just to add a bit of brightness first and even out any discoloration before you go in and add concealer over the top. So because I'm using with a cream, I'm actually going to take a concealer brush and just take my corrector on the palette here and then just work it into where I have this darkness. And then taking a ring finger, just really gently, you don't want to pull, so just lots of patting, I guess, and that will just work it and warm it into the skin and take it down in a sort of downwards pointing triangle from the middle of your eye, so you don't have a that sort of reverse panda, and just take it gently up in this inner corner if you have any darkness, which I do, up in the inner corner, and then pat and do the same on the other eye, just working it down. So that's that. Next up is more conceal. That's a nice corrector to balance, and one of my favourites actually is just a high street. It's the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I just find it gives a really lovely natural finish, but good coverage at the same time. So we want to take this and just apply just a teeny bit over this concealer where we've corrected here, just to even out the colour a little bit. And we'll blend all that in, and then really anywhere that you have any blemishes, any marks, anything that's sort of making your skin look less than perfect. So I'm going to apply a little bit here, and the key really is spot coverage, and by that I don't mean spots, I mean as in spot, kind of dotting it around where you've got small marks rather than layering on a thick amount to cover everything. I think it always gives a much more natural look, if you go with a thin base to sort of just even everything out, and then actually really look at your skin and think, right, where do I really need extra coverage? Because actually, especially parts down here, you know, I'm blemish prone and have combination skin, but there are parts of my skin where I look and think, oh, I quite like that bit actually, and it doesn't need to be covered too much or at all. And so you can get away with kind of looking more natural by having parts that aren't laid on with too much makeup. So just then, again, I'm a big fan of fingers for concealing. I think it really helps work it in. Just taking that ring finger again, being extra gentle around your eye area, and just patting that, working that product in. And again, just take it down, because we all generally have redness around our nose, but particularly at the moment because I have a cold. And then just gently take that line up to the end of your eyebrow, and that will just neaten up any smudging and create that nice elongated eye effect that we want. And it's a really easy way of doing it. So then let's work on this blemish. Very gentle pats, because we don't want to remove the product that we then just put on. There. Okay, so now I'm going to apply just some powder where I feel that there's some shiny areas that I don't want to be shiny. If you've got dry skin, you may not want to. It's sort of a personal preference, so do what you think looks best on your skin. I'm going to take the Match Perfection by Rimmel. It's a loose powder and translucent, because I don't want to add any more colour. I just want it really light, just to set any areas where it's too shiny that I don't want to shine. And I'm going to take Real Techniques setting brush and just swirl some around in the lid. Tap it off, don't blow, because actually that's really unhygienic and you don't want to be adding germs onto your brushes. So just tap it off and then just work it under the eye, just to set that. My eyelashes today, there's another one. Under the eyes there, and just take it down. I'm just going to have a little bit around the nose. And then ever so gently, because I don't want to take off this concealer, I'm going to take a little bit more powder. And then just very gently pat it on to set that concealer and even everything out a little bit. And that's that done. And then finally is the mouth. Now, again, Taylor always has a really dramatic red lip, generally. That's her kind of trademark look. And I loved in this one that it was just a really natural, almost like she had balm, but she definitely had a little bit more. Basically, you want something that's a real natural match to your own lip colour. So perhaps what I'm using might not be natural for your lip, but I would say look through what lipsticks you've got or what glosses, and just find something that's a real natural colour to you for your lip, basically, because that's what it looks like. It looks like a real natural lip, and it just has a very slight gloss on it. So for me, I'm using, this is a Rimmel Volume Booster lipstick, and this is in 052 Hello, and it's a real light approach. So I'm going from the bullet, but I'm just apply a little bit, just to give us a base, and then taking my finger, almost making it more like a stain, and just really working it in carefully. Because I don't want it to look like I'm wearing lipstick. I just want to kind of enhance my lip colour a little bit. There. Pat that in. And then she did have a slight gloss. I looked at balms and that wasn't enough, so it was a definite gloss, nothing too crazy. I've got one here which is the Hawaiian Tropic lip gloss in Island Berry, and I find this one, it's got a sort of pinky colour to it, so just a really little bit, just kind of work it on. Not loads though, just again use your fingers, because you don't want to apply it and it's too much. Sorry, I'm talking as I'm applying, so you probably can't understand what I'm saying. Use your finger and then apply gently. So you want it so it just catches that light with a real gentle touch. Nothing heavy at all. And that's it done. That's the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, let me know what you think. If you like it, obviously please click like and subscribe if you want to see some more videos. And if you've got any ideas of things that you'd like me to try out, whether it's videos or magazine covers or any kind of looks that you'd like to see, then just comment below and let me know what you think. Thanks guys, see you soon, bye bye.